Hi, I'm Rebecca and welcome to the Creabea Knitting podcast. Hello and welcome, I'm Rebecca, I'm a knitter and knitwear designer based in Edinburgh, and this is like a vlog or a podcast all about knitting, what I'm currently knitting on, what I've been knitting on and what I would like to cast on in the not too distant future. Today I have 2 finished objects and a test call. Loads of works in progress, 4 I think, 5 works in progress and a couple of acquisitions to talk about, and I've been so excited to film. It's been 2 weeks and I just feel like there's so much going on that I'm just excited to like sit down and talk about it and yeah, get excited about knitting with everyone because I'm very excited about what's on my needles right now. So first things first, what am I wearing? I am wearing the Lauder Vest. I'm not really a vest person, or I've never worn a vest, so it feels weird to be wearing a vest. I think I'm converted. My plan is to wear this a lot in the next like couple of weeks to just really like cement it in my brain. But yeah, it is an all over cable design. Squint. All over cables. I really love this detail. So it's got shaping that's in the cable around the neck. This one is the V-neck version, and also we'll have to do some contorting here. It's got some shaping in the back as well. And yeah, this is its first wear. It was mostly dry last night and then I just like finished it drying off overnight and I put it on today and I'm just wearing it with a white t-shirt and some jeans. I had to find a white t-shirt with like, all my white t-shirts seem to be really pulled out at the neck. This is the only one that's not, and I feel like the pulled out ones like made it look really scruffy, so this is my only white t-shirt that works, which means I maybe need to update my white t-shirts. This is the vest version. I also finished the sweater. So here is the sweater version. I was working on this last time. Some fun things are, again, it's got this like cable detailing around the neck and it's more obvious in the shoulder because the shoulders here are not a drop. The shoulders in the sweater are a drop shoulder and it's a similar detail. And it's all over cables and I am so excited. So a little bit about this pattern. It is a blockbuster of a pattern. It has technically seven options. In fact, technically 8 options if you really wanted to. So it has a sweater round neck like this, a sweater v-neck with this shaping, a cardigan round neck and a cardigan v-neck, a vest round neck and a vest v-neck, and you could, if you wanted to, combine them and get like a button-up vest with a round or a v-neck. I don't think I've written that in the pattern, but it would be pretty easy to make happen. Originally this was not the plan. The original plan was to do a sweater and then a cardigan and then a v-neck version, and then I posted this on Instagram without the sleeves and I got so many comments saying this looks so good as a vest, and I thought, well, why not try vest? And I'm so glad I did. It doesn't, like I say, it doesn't go as far out on the shoulders, so it's slightly different. Like the yoke is a different shaping but the measurements are the same, so you end up with the same shaping around the chest. But on the vest, I'm going to struggle to show you this, but you go out further on the sweater, and then for the size I did, I knit straight down and I don't do any underarm shaping. There are a couple of sizes with underarm shaping. On this one, instead on the vest, what you do is you knit further and then you do underarm shaping. So it's like narrower here and then gets wider under the arm. Whereas for me, the sweater is wider already on the shoulders. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I have to tell you. The cardigan version is still on my needles, but ultimately the v-neck cardigan will have the same shaping as this, but instead of the center cable, that will run down, like these will be the sides and then the button band will be the center. And the same for the sweater. So it will go down, shaping round, and that center cable, instead of being a cable in the middle, that will be the button bands all the way down. So that is what's going on. It is a DK weight pattern. I've done a couple of different options. So this is knit in Drops Daisy. It is 110 meters per 50 grams, and so it's like a DK weight yarn. Like that's like what, 220 meters per, like a heavy DK. This version is knit in Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool, which is 100 meters per 50 grams, and that's more like a worsted weight. I also done some swatches. I kind of want to make a mohair version, and I was swatching that up, and I got gauge with both a sport weight and mohair. This is Filcolana Pernilla, which is I think 300 meters per 100 grams, and mohair. And this is a DK weight, which is, I believe, Laxton's Sheepsoft DK and Sandnesgarn Tinslip mohair. Oh, it's taking a long time. Come on, there we go. So I'm getting engaged with a lot of options, which I think is really exciting, because I like when you can knit a lot of different versions of something, as if you're not new here, you will know. So I told myself, actually I told everyone on my 2023 like most worn sweaters, one of my plans was to not knit quite as many samples. So I'm going to be knitting 4 samples of the sweater, which just seems ridiculous, but honestly I'm so excited for it. So we've got the vest. I'm only going to make one vest for now, at least. I love the idea of a really colourful version of the vest, but park it up, Rebecca, park it up. The sweater, I'm also going to make another sweater in this grey colour. This is going to be the colours I'm going to use, and I'm going to make it more oversized. This one on me has 0 ease. The maximum ease in the sweater I think is 14 centimetres, and I'm going to try and make one with as much. I don't think there's a size that matches up to 14 centimetres of ease on me, but there is one that's like 9 to 10 centimetres of ease, and that is the one that I'll be knitting like I'll be knitting that like a size up. I told myself that if I have the yarn in stash, it's okay to knit another sample, but I can't keep ordering yarn to make more samples. That is how I've justified this to myself. This is my girl math, my knitter math. I told myself that both of these yarns are in stash, therefore I'm allowed to knit myself another sample, and I really would like a mohair, like a big cozy oversized mohair version. I think is going to be fantastic. So the cables definitely don't pop quite as much with mohair, but I think it still pops enough. Oh, my track, there we go. To I think it's that way around, to work. So yeah, all this to say, the Testnet call is open. It's only open until Saturday at noon I think. Although if I fill all the spots, if I have like enough applicants per size, I will close it early. So I would recommend, if you're interested, applying as soon as you see this. Wait a sec, let me just jump into, no it's fine, I'll finish this first. So on my last episode I talked about potentially doing a partial test knit and only test knitting the yoke and the sleeve in a sleeve, and then dropping the test week down to 6 weeks. And it didn't quite sit right with me, but I was like, oh, like some people do this, like it's okay, designers do that. And then I had some really great comments from people saying like, you are all about inclusivity. Dropping your testing week to 6 weeks is not inclusive, like it's just not. And some people saying things like, if I'm looking to purchase a sweater, I want to see it on different body shapes, I want to see it on different body types, I want to see lots of different versions, and I won't get that if you just do a partial test knit. So I was a bit stressed about timelines because I'm trying to be a bit more organised and like plan out a little bit, and then I was just like, what is like worst case scenario, my pattern comes out 3 weeks later than planned. And that's not the end of the world. So it's going to come out mid-March as opposed to like late Feb, sorry. And that's okay. That's just going to be how it is. So there's going to be, it's slightly shy of 9 weeks to test. It's like almost, I think it's like 2 days short of 9 weeks. So it's a full test knit. The cable, the vest and the cardigan and the sweater are all in the same test form. Which means obviously like the vest is less knitting. So if you still feel like 9 weeks is a bit short, like maybe apply for the vest because it's less knitting. The expectation is still to complete the garment in that time, but I'm always pretty flexible. I would say like, don't go into the test knit thinking I might not finish this, but if something pops up along the way, I'm incredibly flexible, and there's always more than one person knitting something in your size. So it's never the end of the world if you drop out. But I, come into the test knit planning to finish it. On the back of that, because I've pushed those out, it's giving me a bit more wiggle room. And what I've decided is I'm going to try and, my goal is that by autumn 2024, so like, and I think I've talked about this before, but in my head I plan, my mental knitting calendar runs from September 1st until August 31st. So like September 1st is the start of it, kind of like a school calendar honestly. And for my September 1st pattern, I'm going to try and get myself up to 12-week test knits. It's way more inclusive. I'm really big on inclusivity. I've been big on inclusive sizing for a long time. I harp on about it if anyone meets me in person. I don't talk about it as much in the podcast because inevitably if I talk about it, I will get a comment down below of someone telling me why that's wrong, and sometimes I just don't want the hassle. But it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I only started designing because I wanted to know how hard it could be to, like, is it that hard to design inclusively? And I think whilst my sizing has been inclusive from the get-go, my practices, I guess, have probably not always been. And I've always done like an 8 to 9 week test, but I'm going to try and bump that up to 12 weeks so that more people feel like they have time to knit that time frame. And also hopefully, I always get applications for all sizes, but they definitely dwindle with the upper. Sometimes I only have like 2 or 3 applicants for the upper sizes. Hopefully this means that larger knitters making larger sizes feel like they can complete the test in the deadline if it's a longer deadline. So thanks for coming to my TED talk about test knitting deadlines. I will say it's definitely a challenge, and I do understand from a designer's perspective. Like, I do think it's a bit ridiculous. I've seen a lot recently of like 4-week tests. Like that's just I understand why that's wild. I understand why it's tempting as well though, because I know that there is another hemisphere in another calendar year, like, you know, it's getting there in summer when we're in winter, etc. But it's hard to knit out of season, really. So I'm now thinking about like my May designs, but it was -4 degrees this morning. Like, I don't want to knit a short sleeve lace cardigan in -4 degrees. It's just hard to get your brain there. And so I feel like now I'm 18 months into this designing. I feel like I'm now able to plan ahead, and so I now have rough ideas for September and October patterns for next year, and I feel a bit more comfortable in myself in being able to delay a pattern launch to the later season. So the Kip sweater, if you've been watching, it's a textured pattern. I've not shown it for a few weeks, and that's because I'm pushing that sweater back until September so that I can give it, like, so I have in my head as I want to give it a full test knit. It's a fairly labour intensive pattern. It's slip stitches. I wanted to make sure it had a longer test period, and I couldn't fit that in time for it to come out when it's still cold enough to wear a sweater. And so I'm now starting to feel a bit more comfortable. It's definitely a security thing. It's you know, I've been knitting, you know, I've been designing for 18 months. I can see it sticking around in my life. And so the thought of like, okay, I'll plan this sweater for September means I can start my test knit, you know, April? No, not quite, but almost. Like May, I'll be starting that test knit. Yeah, actually that's pretty much right. Like late May, I'll probably be looking to start that test knit already. And knowing that means that I can plan ahead and far enough, and I already have an idea of what I'm going to knit for what my October pattern is going to be, so I can plan for that. But it does mean needing to think like mega ahead of time, which is nice. And it also means that, like, this summer, for example, if I get inspiration for summer knits, instead of firing ahead and trying to squeeze them out in the timeline, I can say, okay, like, make a note about this, do some swatches, understand if you like it, and then you can park it up and come back to it for next summer. It's a learning curve. We're getting there. All that to say, thank you to anyone who left a comment. It's not anyone's responsibility to hold me accountable to anything. Like, I should be doing that myself, but it was a wake-up call to say, like, what is important to you, and to me that is trying to make my patterns as knittable as possible. So for test knitting, for actual knitters, giving people flexibility, giving people options, I like that. So I'm going to keep doing that. And so the test knit is down below. This one, like I say, is just shy of 9 weeks. I'm pretty sure I'm already going to be able to bump the next one up to 10 weeks because I've pushed out this one. It's giving me a bit more breathing space. So if I can get this one to the next one to the tech editor by next week, she's going to hate me, then I can get a 10-week on the next one. And then we're in summer, and I think summer knits, a lot of them are like much less fabric because a lot of them are like lacier, or they're on sleeves, or it's a tank top. So they'll be like probably 10-week tests. I'll try and keep them at 10 weeks and then aim to get up to 12 for September onwards. Cool. My last thing to say is to jump straight into a whip, and I'm still talking about this design. So as I said, the Lauder has got a sweater, a vest and a cardigan. The cardigan is still on my needles. I cast it on at the start of this week, and I am, every time I open this bag and look at it, I'm so excited. This is also Drops Daisy. It's in the colour red. They have a crimson and a red, but I'm trying to lean into colours which are my wheelhouse, and I think this is one of them. With like dark hair and quite pale skin. I think it's like a pure winter is technically my colour palette, and I don't really, I'm not huge on like picking colours based on how they make you look, but every 2 weeks I sit down and edit a video of myself for YouTube, and I can tell when I'm wearing a colour that suits me and when I'm wearing a colour that doesn't suit me. And if I'm wearing like a beige or like a muted tone, I don't always look the brightest, and I feel like as soon as I wear a colour like this, I look a lot more glowy. So I have been sold into colour theory because of that. So this is the cardigan in Drops Daisy in this really vibrant like tomato red that I am loving. I've been knitting on this vest all week, kind of excitedly and a bit passionately, so I've not worked on this for a few days, but hopefully this weekend I can power through and get the front shaping, like the front's done, and then yeah, I'd like to have this done in like the first couple of weeks of the Testnet. I've got it in my Elizabeth Scarlett lobster bag, and it feels like the perfect bag for the project. Oh wait, there's a full, yeah, this is the yarn, Drops Daisy. So far I'm liking this yarn. I know people have mixed feelings on Drops. I also have mixed feelings on Drops. One thing I will say is I am worried it's gonna pill. It's very soft to work with, which is lovely, but I have noticed already this sample is like fuzzy, and it's not drawing away from it at all. It's still pretty crispy, but it's been worn very little and it does look a little bit fuzzy already. So we'll see how it fares once I'm wearing it properly. I will tell you that I am terrified to wear this because I've taken 0 pattern pictures of me in this sweater, and it is an Oliver white sweater. So I feel like until the pattern pictures are taken, I'll be wearing this sparingly because I don't trust myself with, I don't know, sauces and drinks and things. So that will be, yeah, it's in my wardrobe, but not really until March when the pattern launches. Okay, that is a Lauder. All the information about yarn and sizes and everything is in the Testnet forum below. And I let everyone know, like I drop an email to everyone who applies to the Testnet, so if you are remotely interested, it's all down there. Let's move on to some more works in progress. Okay, I think I showed this last time. It is another design. And honestly, it's funny. I kind of went off my cable design. I think I mentioned this last time, but this is actually knit a little bit too tightly. It's a little bit too small. Or not too small, it fits actually lovely, but it wasn't the sizing I had in my head for it. And that's because I discovered that I am a significantly tighter knitter in the round than on flat. And it's become worse. Like, it used to be a thing, but it's now really a thing. And the gauge is just massively different in the round. And it was hard to tell with cables because it bunches up so much until you do a full wet block. And then I realised, and then I was like, this is not fitting the way I wanted it to. And then I finished it and I loved it again. And then I got really excited to finish the vest and to start the cardigan. So I kind of went through like a phase with it. But because I've been so excited in the cardigan, this pattern has had a little bit of time on the back burner. And I'm annoyed with myself because I really wanted to get, oh, I've dropped so many stitches. Shoot. Let me pick them up quickly and put them back on the needle. I wanted to have the body and the sleeve. I actually wanted to have the body and the collar of this done like 2 weeks ago, last week. Oh no. Oh, I dropped stitches on the area where I really shouldn't have dropped stitches. Oh well. This is the Tydes sweater. It is fluffy and stripy. What can I say? I kind of love it. It is knit in, oh, I've got dust over everything right now. So what have I done? I've done, the back panel is completely finished. It's knit bottom up, and I'm currently I've done one front shoulder, that's where I just dropped the stitches from, and I'm working on the other shoulder. And then I need to seam the shoulders and do the collar and then do the sleeves. I think the reason I'm a bit blocked on this right now is I don't know what I want to do with the sleeves. Do I want and again, in my head I'm just like, just do both and offer both options. which honestly I might do. I can't decide if I want like shaped tapered sleeves or if I want just like straight sleeves and then decrease like a balloon at the cuff. So that is undecided, hence why I'm not in a rush to finish this, because I need to like mentally work through what comes next, I think. But it's so fun to knit. I'm so excited to wear this as well. I think it's gonna look really nice with like pale blue jeans. Yeah, pale blue jeans and like a pair of comfy trainers. Be a baseball cap. I don't know. Pretend like I know anything about fashion. And yeah, it's super. Oh, there we go. I'll show you the pattern close up. It's wavy. I think the waves are going to pop a bit more when it blocks. And this yarn has been lovely. It's Sandnesgarn brushed alpaca. It's a single strand, so it's a very lightweight sweater. I think it's be perfect for spring. And no surprises to anyone, I've got a cardigan version planned. No neck shaping though, just a round neck cardigan. And I want to do that one in like 3 or 4 colours. So instead of just 2 colours, do like 3 or 4 colours. And one of them is going to be, right now I'm thinking light blue, dark blue, cherry red and orange, or pink. Anyway, that's what's on my brain right now. Yeah, so I keep pulling this out and then be like, oh, I want to work on this, but I'm so excited about everything else that I've not been working on this because everything else is like fractionally more exciting. But I'm dog sitting at my parents this weekend, and so I will take this and I think my cable cardigan as my only 2 projects, in the hope that means I actually get them finished or at least like move on to the next stage. So yeah, this is Tydes. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm trying to not order the rest of the yarn until I finish the sample. I'm trying to be better at that, but honestly there's very little holding me back because I just want it now. And I did consider doing the second sample in something other than Sandnesgarn brushed alpaca. It's a good yarn, it's relatively affordable. But I'm not sure what else there is. I did consider like double stranding mohair because I thought that would work quite well as well. But that's about as far as I've gotten, to be honest. That's the thought process I've had so far. And yeah, I'd like to have this, well, I'm planning to get this into testing at the end of January, so need to make some progress on it. It is so far like completely written up, so everything is written up so far. It's just the sleeves are not written up because I can't decide what I'm doing with the sleeves. But yeah, it makes me want to like go on a beach holiday or like go for like a brisk walk on the beach. Vibes. I guess that's why I call it Tydes, I guess. Duh. Okay, we have 2 more. Let me talk about this. Oh, that's what I just did. Let's move from one blue and white striped knit to another blue and white striped knit. So this is my Lanux. It is basically my only resting whip. I've got a couple of like old ones, which I don't think, they're kind of like early designs that I will definitely have to rework because they're not going to fit in the way that I had planned, which is fine. But I don't want to get rid of them because they still feel like something. So they're the only things I have, I think, other than my half and half triangles wrap and like a couple of advent projects. Okay, maybe there's more than I thought. This is my only garment long-term whip. And I put it on hold because I started it before like the end of last year, I think like late summer. And it didn't feel like a winter knit, it felt like a spring, like something I wanted to wear in like February to April. So I had no motivation to finish it because I was like, well, it's only January. Not even January, it's only August. So I pulled it out recently, also because I didn't have a stockinette project. Everything else required a bit of thought, and this is not stockinette, but I can do it whilst reading, so it filled that niche for a little while. And it is my Lanux sweater. So I released this pattern like last March, I think, and it is a zip-up sweater with drop shoulders. I've got 2 samples myself. I've got a brown one, which is the original sample, and an orangey red one. But I've always wanted to do a striped one, and yeah, I'm really loving this. It is in Regal by Briggs & Little, which is relatively rustic, but it is quite a lofty yarn, so there's quite a lot of air in there, and it's holding the texture really nicely. It's a very crisp stitch pattern. I've done all the hard work, so all the hard work is basically in the collar, the back, the front, like everything up until above here is the hard work. All I need to do now is just knit, and then just knit the sleeves, and even the sleeve decreases are really straightforward. So there's not a lot to be done. Well, there's a lot to be done, but nothing hard. And I just really, again, like I just wish I had 15 pairs of hands because I want this done like end of February. It's a lot of knitting. It's knit one below or like you're slipping or knitting below on your stitches. So basically every 2 rows is 1 row. You have to work 2 rows to get 1 row in pattern, which takes a bit of time. So it is relatively labour intensive, but it's pretty fun to knit, and I just need to get going with it. I just need to keep putting some time in. Yeah, that's basically it. These are the 2 colours I'm using. It's a really lovely navy. It's a navy, but it's got a good like vibrancy to it, and it's off-white colour. And yeah, we're getting there. I even have the zip already, and like I've sewn the lining down. Like literally the only thing I have to do here is just finish the body. I wonder if I should like, I don't really do this, but I wonder if I should put like a 30 minutes a day onto this for the foreseeable. That might be a nice way to do it. It's not something I normally do. I normally just pick up whatever I'm feeling like. But I do want to get this finished. So I wonder if I could do, you know, like 30 minutes a day of working on this. I also keep forgetting, so with a half fisherman's rib, I work this inside out because my purl gauge is so much looser than my knit gauge. I want to be reducing as many purls as I can and knitting as much as possible. So what I do is I knit inside out and I slip 1 with yarn over and then purl 2 together instead of knit 1 below. And I cannot, every time I come to a stripe, I can't remember how to get the clean stripe. So there's a way that makes the stripe cleaner. And I think that is, I'm pretty sure it's if you change colour on the yarn over row, but I just keep forgetting it. So every time I get to a new stripe, I have to end up ripping back because I got it wrong and then starting over again. And I'm 1 row away from striping again, and I've honestly already forgotten it's been 2 days. So that's not fun. But there we go. The sleeves are also going to be striped, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it looks so good. I should finish this. Ugh, I need more time. Maybe fewer projects. Okay, a little quick one. My meetings and knitting for this week has been a hat. Like I say, it's got really cold here, and I just don't really have, I've got like 1 ready to wear hat that I wear quite a lot. I have a muscle bra, but it's in brown and I don't love the way it fits. It's a bit big and just it feels a bit clumsy. I don't know, I wonder if that maybe feels better in like a superwash or like a softer yarn, but I don't think, I wear it sometimes, but I don't reach for it all the time. And I do have a red beanie that I love, but it's maybe 3 years old now. It's in superwash yarn and it has just lost all structure. Yeah, so I feel like there's a space in my life for a beanie, and there's actually space for 2 because I really want a colourful one as well. But I'm currently using Camarose Snefnug and knitting this beanie up. It is a tiny bit big, but not really. Like, it's pretty cozy, but it probably could be tighter. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. Like, I don't feel like it's going to fall off my head or anything. It's just 1x1 rib, and I'm following a free pattern. Normally a 1x1 rib hat, I would use the Pearl Soho Easy Rib Beanie, I think it's called. I love that one. I made it a lot. I made maybe like 10. Quite a few gift knits. I just love it. But I don't love the shaping. Like, the shaping's fine, but I'm not crazy about it. So I went looking on Ravelry and found, I think it's called Beanie Alba. And it's a free pattern, and it has like 4 points of decreases, and I think the Pearl Soho has 6 points. It's a free pattern, did I say that already? So yeah, I'm giving it a try. I should have used a 3.5mm needle, and I'm using a 3.75 because I thought it was quite chunky yarn, but actually it would have been better on 3.5, but it's not so problematic that I'm ripping it out. So yeah, it's my meetings, knitting. I'd like to kind of finish this week, and I'd like to cast on another one in a bright colour. I'm thinking purple or blue. To like wear my black coat, and I think that'd be nice, but this is actually really warm and cozy. It's the leftover yarn from my Gallus, which I thought would be nice because then I've kind of got a matching set if I want to also wear the Gallus. So yes, that is, I finished the first ball, and this was like, I had a ball and a bit left over. This is the bit, although it looks like quite a full ball to be honest. And I'm keeping that in my little dinky Lysander and olive mushroom bag that I got on Etsy, which I think is super cute. Okay, we have 1 project left. I'm flying for them today. Let's talk about this one. So this has gone pretty quickly. It's in again, I think I showed these bags last time, but it is in this new bag that I bought from I think you call it strikkefeber. I think it's beautiful. It's made from recycled saris. I will say I got this one and the large one, and I have not yet used the large one because I cannot find a project that fits in it because it takes like 7 skeins, like 700 grams of yarn, and nothing, like maybe my Lanux could go in there, but like so far nothing is bulky enough. Nothing fits. It's too much space. So if I were to purchase again, I would probably only purchase this size. But let me show you my yarn first. So when I was knitting when I was ordering there for my cardigan sample, I thought I wanted a hot pink one. Which isn't really my colour house, but I thought I did. And then I ordered yarn and it wasn't quite the colour I expected it to be. It is this yarn. It is called Orchid. It is Cascade 220. And honestly, on camera, it shows up like it does on the website, which is quite pinky. But it's actually purple. It's more of a purple, I think, than a pink. Kind of like an electric purple, like a neon-y purple almost. But it does, on the website, it looks quite pink. So it wasn't really what I wanted for the cardigan. And then I was talking in my 2023 wrap video about trying new colours and like reaching into that wheelhouse a bit more. And also I do enjoy a relatively plain raglan, plain drop shoulder, mohair sweater. Like I just wear them a lot. I feel quite cool in them. They're my easiest thing to throw on. So I went looking for some matching mohair and I ordered it from Mayogharn, which is made in Italy, but I feel like it's sent through Spain. Sorry, through France. But I could be completely making that up. It is pretty standard mohair spec, 70% mohair, 30% silk, 25 grams, 210 meters. They call it their pearl mohair. And this is the colour mauve, which again, on their website looks really, really neon. And I didn't expect it to be such a perfect colour match, but honestly it's really, really good. It's a really good colour match considering they're completely different brands of yarn. This arrived yesterday. And then last night, I like wound the yarn up at lunchtime and like just cast on the neck and did like 2 rounds of ribbing. And then after work, I sat for like an hour and a half and then we had dinner, and then after that I sat for like another 2 hours. I binge read a book. I read an entire book last night and I think I finished the yoke. I have it on try on cords because I was just fixing it up. I think I'm going to do like 2 more rows and then split for sleeves. Look at this. Isn't it so cool? So yeah. It is like glowing. It's so cool. It's really, really not my normal colour, but I think it's going to be a fun colour on me. Sorry. And it's just a plain raglan sweater. I am following the Tulsa pattern. I just love those numbers. They're like my magic numbers for a raglan. And so I have just followed the Tulsa exactly. I can knit that pattern in my sleep. So I just love it. And what I'm thinking about doing is I might, I've been tagged quite a few times in people who have made long sleeve versions. I'm considering, I'll knit this up and see what I think about it, but if I enjoy the long sleeve, what I might do is add an additional document to the existing pattern with like a chart for sleeve decreases per size for the DK weight and the fingering weight versions, in case anyone else wants to turn it into a sweater. So yeah, that is exactly it. I will say I knit the collar really tight, so there's a little bit of puckering here, but I'm hoping that's just gonna block out. But it is puckering just a touch, just because the collar is just so, I think I went down too many needle sizes for it. And yeah, otherwise I need to check the gauge. I have not checked the gauge on this. It's a top down raglan sweater, so my plan really was just to knit a bit and then gauge check. So my plan was to knit between a size 3 and a size 4. I think size 4 is 110 centimeters and size 3 is 101 centimeters. I think that's right. That could be between size 2 and 3. I can't really remember. I think it's 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3 and 4. I want about like 106, 108 centimeters. So I want to be closer to the, like, not quite as big as the 110, I don't think. But if it was 110, it'd also not be the end of the world. So I'm going to measure the gauge on this and then see. The yoke feels a little bit short, but it's fine when I try it on. So I might just do another couple of rounds without increases, measure this and see where we're at. I also have a habit, which anyone who's watched me talk about toasters before, is I cast off my toaster before it's at, like, I try it on as I go and don't follow the pattern and just cast it all, like just split for sleeves whenever I feel like it, and it does always lead to a more fitted version than what I want. Let's me check. 1, 2, ooh. 1, 2, 3. I'm massively over gauge. That is why it feels like it's ready to split for sleeves already. Okay, well, that is fine. Yeah, I have like 4 stitches too many. That is why it feels like it's ready to go. I should have checked that first. Cool, well, I'll probably just, that makes a lot of sense. I was worried like, oh, does it already, I thought I maybe had still like 6 or 8 rows to do. But that is not the case. So I'm definitely, I'll do quick maths after this. And I'll probably be ready to split for sleeves, which is exciting. And the yoke will loosen off a little bit with blocking, so I don't think the depth will be a problem. But I think it looks really good. I really like it. And it was so nice just to have a stockinette project on my needles. I will say, like, now looking at my other projects, I'm thinking, oh, I wish I'd worked on something else because I want the Lanux and I want this and I want this and ooh. But there was just, it was so nice. I binge read Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. It was a very, very cute rom-com book about a florist and a wedding planner. And it was great. Super readable, super enjoyable. I did that for like 5 hours yesterday. Okay, acquisitions. I feel like I've flown through this episode and I don't know if that's true, but it feels like I've gone very quickly. So maybe it's a shorter one this time. I have, I think, 2 things to show. Maybe only one thing? Oh, maybe my only other acquisition was the Garn, which I showed the mohair. Yeah, I think so. So I only have 1 acquisition. Wait, I thought I had 2. Mentally running through what has arrived this week. No, I think that's everything. Okay. I'll stop the rustling, but I have a pattern coming out in a publication in March. It is the Journal of Scottish Yarns, and I used hand-dyed yarn from the Isle of Skye for that one. And I wanted to make, the sample size does not fit me. It's like 10 centimeters smaller than my bust. So the sample is, I love it, but it was not ever going to fit me, and I always knew I wanted to make myself my own sample. And I wanted to knit it in a yarn which was still a Scottish yarn but was more widely available, because Shillisdare, which is the Isle of Skye natural dye company, they do like colour drops and stuff, so that it's not, you're not always going to be able to get the colours all the time. And I wanted to make a version which was still Scottish but was yarn that was pretty widely available. And so I ordered the new 5-ply Shetland from Jamiesons and Smith. So it arrived. It's quite thin. It's thinner than I thought it would be. I mean, I know a 5-ply, it's like a true DK weight, so like 100 and, I guess it's 130 meters. 230 meters per 100 grams, which, yeah, pretty much bang on true DK weight. We'll see if I get gauge. It might be a little bit thin for gauge actually, which I should have known before I ordered it. But we will see. And they're these really, really dinky. I think it's going to block up beautifully. It also has the most perfect centre pull, just like ready to go, which I am obsessed with. Has them on both. Although I've just put my finger in this one. No, I can't find this one. Anyway, it has one on both sides and I've just messed it up. But yeah, super impressed with this. Pretty reasonably priced. And all I will say is this is the main colour and this is the contrast colour, and that is about all I can say about it right now. I'm excited for this one to come out. It's I'm seeing lots of test versions of it right now, and the test versions are beautiful, and it's getting my excitement going again for this pattern, because it was kind of, yeah, when you start seeing tester versions, it's like, oh, I want that one. Oh, I want that one too. Oh, what about this one? So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, it's going to come out. Oh, I said March. It's not coming out in March. It's coming out late April. It's going to line up with the Woolly Good Gathering, which is the new Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is starting this year. I think that is everything from me, knitty-wise. I feel like I've flown through this, and I still have 5 whips and a test call. I should have had more to say, but maybe not. What else is going on? I am this week trying to film what I knit in a week, which is going interestingly. I tried to film it last week and then I just fell off the wagon and stopped filming halfway through, so I started again, and we'll see if that's remotely interesting, but I'm hoping to show you a little bit of like, I don't know, behind the scenes, like a little bit into my yarn room and my setup when I knit and my knitting and weeding things and all that, so hopefully that's interesting. It'll come out probably next week. Other than that, it's been just a really quiet but nice January. We've got basically no weekend plans, basically no weekday plans, so I've had like at least 3 nights a week where it's just been chilling and, you know, tidy the house, do the dishes, make dinner, sit and chill. And it's just been, it feels like I'm probably hibernating, but in a good way. It feels very regenerative, which has been nice. I've also been back into the gym really well, and I'm pushing it quite hard at the gym, which is nice. I'm seeing quite a dramatic increase in like the weights I'm lifting, and yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. We're also in full swing plan mode for the Australia-New Zealand trip. I've had a few emails and messages about that, so if I haven't replied to you, I will, I promise. It feels like it's all still up in the air. But we're doing 2 weeks in New Zealand and a week in Australia. We have no plans for Australia other than the wedding that we're travelling there for. But otherwise, we have a pretty full agenda for New Zealand. We're basically travelling all the way from Auckland, all the way down to Queenstown with not quite plain train and automobile, but we are, I'm pretty sure there's a train, I'm pretty sure there's a ferry, I'm pretty sure there's some car driving, maybe there's a kayak involved, I don't know, but yeah, lots of different ways of doing that, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And I'm already like mentally starting to plan what knitting to take. I think the good news is that's going to be slightly ahead of Tolsta tank season, which means I will be taking a couple of Tolsta tanks to knit on, and that's quite nice because they will be a variety of like probably a pattern version, a plain one, and probably a fingering weight, so hopefully that will tide me over for 3 weeks, which is nice. And other than that, not a whole lot going on. I think my next, oh, is that right? My next podcast episode will be pattern release date. It will be. So I have a pattern, I have the Rue pattern. It's a colourwork sweater coming out in 2 weeks. The Testnet is like wrapping up. We've got pictures next Sunday, which I'm excited about. We're doing them with Jasmine, which I've not done in a while. I think the last one I did with Jasmine was October, so I'm looking forward to seeing her and see lots of knitters again. And they're always really fun days. And yeah, other than that, not a whole lot going on. Working hard, knitting hard, lots of admin going on behind the scenes, lots of pattern writing, lots of edits, lots of everything. But I'm feeling pretty good and for the most part pretty on top of things for January. That is all for me. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have lots of whatever you need happening right now, whether that be chill time or busy time or whatever it is. I hope you're getting some of it. And yeah, I'm off to get back to work for the rest of the day, and then I've got a massage later on tonight, which I'm excited for. And then I'm going to sit and pick one of these projects. I think I'm going to ban myself from working on my stockinette project actually. I think I'm going to force myself to work on the cardigan or the Lanux or the Tydes or all of them. I don't know. I'm excited. Hope you have a great 2 weeks. I'll be back in February, and